Hey, what's up? This is all the tools we need for this project. This is the only special tool you are gonna use. It's a 36mm socket and is for that axle nut. In this part of the process, you just need to lose that nut, not remove it, just lose it. This is pretty tight, so it's gonna take a lot of leverage. The next step will be jack up the car and get loose those bolts on the wheels. Now let's jack up the car all the way. Okay, let's see how a wheelbarrow shouldn't sound. Let's be safe by placing our jack stand. Always leave your jack floor as a backup. And finally, it's time to remove the wheel. I always place the wheel under the track for safety. To get this caliper out of the way, we have to remove that nut and the one on the top. When you get your caliper brake loose, you can just carefully put it on top of the wheel. And now it's time to remove the rotor brakes and put it in a safe place. This is the ABS connector, you have to unplug it and remove it from the frame. Then we have to remove these 3 bolts in order to take the wire out of the way. I use penetrating oil in all the bolts so they are so much easier to remove when they are rusty. After that we have to take out that screw from the upper control arm and take those 2 pieces apart. You can use a flathead screwdriver, or if you have braking bar or anything like that, it's gonna be so much easier. And when open, just remove it. We used a 13mm socket for these first 2 bolts. And for that last bolt, we are gonna use a 10mm socket. Okay, so let's take this ABS wire out of the upper control arm. And it's time to start with the hub bearing. So we need this 18mm socket to remove these 3 bolts in the back. So because these bolts are rusty like hell, they are hard to remove, so I use this extension in order to help me. Also turn your steering wheel to the right and have better access to the bolts in the back, it's gonna help you a lot. This is the upper bolt, it's a little bit hard to get access, so we are gonna use the same technique as before, use that extension to help us to remove that bolt. And same thing for the bottom one. When you finish with those bolts, you have this nut on front, the axle nut, that you have to remove first. If you have someone to help you, it's gonna be so much easier. In this case, I have my girlfriend with me, and she is a very big help, to be honest. And then just remove this nut by hand. Behind the nut you have this washer, just remove it and save it for later. Okay, and this is the trickiest part because everything was super rusty, so we end up hammering it for a couple of hours. I'm using a flathead screwdriver trying to pry it apart. And as well trying to clean some rust so the PB blaster get inside. And we move the dust seal back and forth trying to get this PB blaster inside. And finally we get it. After a couple hours or more just hammering, moving, wiggling and everything, we finally get it. Now let's wire brush the knuckle and make sure everything is clean. And I finish it off with some brake cleaner. It's important to make sure everything is dry before installing our new part. Now it's time to install our new part. First, make sure the ABS wire goes through the hole in the dust seal. Put the hub bearing in and start the bolt by hand. That way it holds itself and make easier the rest. Tighten the bolts a little at a time so the hub goes in evenly. Don't be like me, make sure the wire passes through the hole all the way, if not you'll be fighting with it like I did. Now clean the hub and wipe it off with a dry rag. Spin it and make sure everything moves smoothly. Clean the center of the hub, then reinstall the old washer. And put back the old axle nut. You don't have to fully tighten it, just do it a little. Now we put the 3 bolts back in with the new ABS wire. Honestly, I couldn't get that bolt out, so I just zip tied the wire. Next, plug in the ABS connector. You will find a hole in the frame where it should match. I apply some anti-seize on the hub so the rotor doesn't seize. Use a new pair of gloves to install the rotor and prevent for jerkiness. Now we can reinstall the brakes using a 18mm socket. One of the last steps is to bolt the wheels on. After putting the wheel back on and lowering the track, tighten the axle nut. put the wheel cover back in place and you are done. And subscribe for more videos like this.